We all know that the challenges of sustainability, whether they're the political side or the environmental side, are deeply complex and deeply uncertain. If they weren't, then we would have gotten there a long time ago. And yet there's somehow this pressure to pretend that sustainability is a singular, simple, technical objective.
We are actually witnessing the impact of climate change. South India is going through horrendous rains, which has been unprecedented. Cities are breaking down. So, how do you imagine sustainability in such times? Uh, Demands an answer. And I guess the best answer that I can think of is that there is no way you can have a simple answer. So, we absolutely have to have complex responses to what inherently is a complex situation we are dealing with.
We look at the idea of transformation as a so-called imaginary. That is, it's a collectively held vision of what a future could look like.
One key thing that the GoST project tries to grapple with is the fact that there are different imaginaries, different ways of imagining sustainability out there in society. Depending on different values, different interests, different contexts and understandings, there will be different directions that we might feel we should go in order to achieve sustainable cities or sustainable food production or sustainable energy.
International negotiations count as a big success story. For instance, the Paris Agreement was celebrated as a milestone to climate regime. And on the other side, the emissions are still rising despite these kind of advancements. And in international assessment, there is valid scientific evidence that there is a problem and we need societal transformations, but on the other side we don't know too much about how societies, how citizens transform.
The way in which any society imagines its future, including its environmental future, rests on very deep-going cultural self-understandings of what governance is even all about. I mean, what is the state? What is it doing? How does it relate to society? And what are its responsibilities? So certainly one of the major findings that came across through the accidental overlapping of COVID with GoST is that one of the determinants of how a country is able to meet the challenges of the future is in this long-standing set of institutional relationships between the society and its government, something that we call the social compact. And we discovered that there are critical weaknesses in the social compact in at least 3 of the 4 countries that we were looking at. So that what the society wants and what government is capable of doing do not mix and match and mesh.
This particular research was not just about generating the information and therefore evidence, it was also about building a movement towards creating real change within the different sectors. So being able to convene sessions, talk to people, embed them in the research process means that we are also creating an opportunity for different stakeholders to work together, but also learn the different nuances of imaginaries and therefore of development in policy and technology.
science and technology are absolutely crucial, but they're necessary and not sufficient. And if we're going to achieve sustainable societies in terms of social justice or environmental protection, then we're going to need to treat the political dimensions really seriously and be democratic about those and involve democratic discussions of a kind that at the moment, too often around sustainability, simply aren't even taking place.
The role of the imagination is paramount in public policy. So people shouldn't assume that public policy is a matter of getting the equations right, that you get the input and the output variables somehow to hang together. They should understand that it's embedded within all of us, the possibility of imagining what the good future ought to look like. And if that good future is grounded in questions about justice and not in questions about how to have enough. So justice means something distributive and not just the totality of the goods that we have. Then I think we will have made a major step forward.